Hi, this is Super. Today's session is regarding creating deep links to tabs in Microsoft Teams. So, for example, if you want to navigate from one tab to one tab application to another tab application, or from bot to tab, or if you're using some link posted on the chart, you want to navigate to some tab application, then these deep links will be helpful. It helps to navigate within Teams. It will not open any browser window again, and then coming back, there will be no. It will be a seamless experience to navigate between. Within Teams different applications or different tabs within same application. So here this documentation helps to form that particular deep link. So for example, this is generating deep link to your tab application. So this is the format. You need to pass majorly the app ID and TTID and web URL. These are the main parameters we need to pass. Other parameters, like if you want to pass some context information or label information, these are optional. Um, and for example, app ID here, right? Here, the based on the app ID, it is actually the ID from the manifest, and entity ID is actually also from the manifest. Let me create one sample URL here. And so, for example, I have a tab application here. Maybe let me just show that application first. So this is a tab application with simple sign-on, and yeah, this is only having one tab. So this is my manifest file for that particular application. So this is the map ID. This is the manifest ID from your manifest. This is the app ID. So I can copy that value here, and the entity ID is from your static tabs, whatever the value you give for the entity ID, that you need to copy it to entity ID value, and the content URL, like for the same static tab, right? You need to pass that content URL here as the entity web URL, and I'm removing the remaining fields. So this is my deep link now. So if I just paste that link in the chart, or because for demo purpose, I'm just pasting as a in the chart window. So if I click on that deep link, it navigates to that particular application. So this is expected behavior and seamless experience. But there are possibilities. This deep link will fail in mobile, in iOS or Android. It may fail. It's not happening always, but it may fail using these values. It's having some issues with the this particular deep link. So the best experience you need to try is actually you, for example, if it is a tenant app, custom app, you upload to your tenant application, or if you upload app to your tenant app catalog. So this is my app which I just uploaded to my Teams Admin Center in my tenant, and this will be shown as a status as a published. So if I click on this app, it actually shows the app ID here. So see, this is the app ID. So whatever the app ID showing here and whatever the app ID showing in the manifest, both are different values. So for deep link, actually, we always need to use the app ID from the admin center, so that you will not face any deep link issue. You will not face any tab authentication related issues. So if you use the manifest ID, right? So sometimes you are seeing inconsistent behavior in the authentication issues. It is showing like app definition not found, or link is not supported. It is having some issues in the mobile. So for that purpose, copy this particular app ID from the admin center and use it as an app ID here instead of manifest ID. So if you just paste this URL in the chart again, sorry, space. So if you click on this app ID now, if you click on that particular deep link, it will navigate to the application, and also you will see the seamless experience in the mobile as well. So mobile, for example, in iOS or Android, right? If you use the same deep link, it works without any issues. So that's main possibility of issues. The app ID which is showing on admin center. So that is one thing. And another possibility is there are some apps like third-party apps that's called as like a third-party apps. So, for example, so you see different publishers published apps, and if you want to use deep links for that particular apps, you can still use the manifest app ID. The reason is for these apps which are published to Teams App Store, for those specific apps, whatever the app ID generates and shows in admin center, and whatever the app ID here, it will be the same. So to make it clear more, uh, third-party apps, whatever apps published to App Store, it need to be published to Microsoft for approval, and those specific apps will be available for all tenants, right? So for those specific apps, whatever ID given in the manifest and whatever ID shows in Teams Admin Center, that will, both will be the same. So then you can use the same ID in the deep link. But for custom apps, that means if you upload your app into your app catalog only for your tenant. So for example, if you upload some custom apps, this app will be available only for your particular tenant. So in that case, it generates a different ID. So in this case, you need to use this app ID from the admin center. Yeah, that's overall behavior.